Tune in to episode 58. We're going to teach you how to run a business from the ground up with a guy here that's done it several times over, at least 30 times a year.
You're listening to Between Two Bridges, a business-to-business podcast. With your hosts, Anthony R. Destiny, Joe Ferrani, and Jerry Kenna. Interviewing entrepreneurs, business operators, and investors. This episode of Between Two Bridges is brought to you by Duro Cleaners, luxury laundry care, conveniently delivered to your door. Visit durocleaners.com, because life's better without laundry.
Episode 58, B2B.
Between the bridges.
Between two bridges.
Two bridges.
Not sure which two bridges, but
all of them.
Between all the bridges, from here to Venice.
How many bridges did you cross to get here?
Yeah, I've seen a lot. Yeah, a lot. I was thinking on the way, I was like, damn, I've seen every bridge on the way here.
You either went across it or saw it.
Oh, yeah.
Right.
Yeah.
Look down them all, for sure.
Want to introduce yourself?
Yeah, my name's Brian Bercik. I'm co-owner of Hemlock Homes. We are a custom home building company out of Washington, Pennsylvania.
Nice.
So what brings someone into the custom home building process?
Yeah.
Ah, man. I started in real estate 05, just like playing around with it. I like rental idea back in the day, like, you know, my family and friends are all in construction, stuff like that. So like, and also like I was just a degenerate. So like that's where you kind of end up.
Welcome to the club.
Yeah, so you just end up in like construction or financing somewhere in those worlds. You know what I mean?
You're either nailing boards together or pushing
you know
lumber.
what I mean? So like that's where we all just kind of end up landing. But yeah, I mean, I started in shit areas, you know, that you know, didn't have a lot of money back then. So it was like Clareton, McKeesport, you know, those
Where was the
8.
first one? Was it McKeesport?
Clareton.
Okay.
Yeah, so like I'm from around that area.
Are you a bear?
The Bears.
Over that way. Yeah. So I'm from like I was born on like the Thomas Jefferson Clareton border, but they're like, they share the same zip code, but they don't want to claim each other because one's a little upper echelon, one's not.
Yeah.
But no, it was, yeah, so the cash flow was sexy, right? So I didn't know back then, like, massive cash flow margins, but then the tenant sucks complete shit. So, like, you know, built that up and then, you know, eventually did some of that. But got into the fix and flip when that was hot.
Yeah.
Understood that was, and then I went and worked at Urban Capital for a few years, which was awesome. I got to learn a $10 million business education the few years I was there. I did sales for them. I helped them scale 120% and stuff like that during those times. That's when I met like Matt Simmons and them guys and like just started forming those relationships with like Dan Constantino and Simmons and those dudes who are actually playing the game back then. Because there was no real wholesalers back then. Right. Like there was actually none. And you know, big fix and flip company. I did about 40 some myself, and then was like, all right, the acquisition side of it sucks. And I always wanted to like, I thought it'd be better for cash flow standards to like go into construction, right? Because I'm like, I can bill weekly, I can base them on progress, I can set draws, and fix and flip, it's hard because you have cash flow issues and you're actually like not making a profit until about 120 days, and that's on a fast pace. Right. So, you know, for me, I started looking at the industry and I'm like, well, where's the voids? You know, where can I slide in? Because I don't want to keep, it's like anything, man. When like everyone says get into crypto, I stay away from crypto. Like when everyone tells me to get into wholesaling, I stay away from wholesaling. Like I just don't chase the fad. So I looked at the industry and I was like, well, there's no builders. Like, who the fuck's a builder? Is like in their 30s.
Yeah.
Nobody. I don't know, one. So then like I started thinking about my relationships and stuff like that. And one of my, you know, childhood friends was an excavator, and he's been in that trade for forever, digging for all the big production companies and Charter and you know, those guys, and introduced me to his cousin, who's now my current partner. and he had about 25 years experience in the new construction game. And like, again, you know, we sat down, and this is no bullshit. Like, we sat down in a restaurant in South Park that's no longer open, and we mapped that shit on a napkin. And he was just kept promising me all this shit. And like, I didn't know him like that, but I was trusting my, you know,
your gut.
And that, and like, I started like, you have to put a process to a business to actually make it work, like actually work on a real level.
Yep.
And there's no real process to fix and flip on a scaled level. Like 1-2 year, cool, man, you're playing, you're having a hobby, like that's awesome. But like, you want to do 50, 100, like good fucking luck. There's just a million moving parts, right? So, you know, he kept telling me, he's like, dude, you're not going to be able to, you're not going to believe it. Like, I'm used to fix and flip where it's like 6-month hold normal. Dude, them dudes are building houses in 120 days. Like, good houses.
Yeah.
Like, you know, production dudes.
New construction.
Yeah. And like, I didn't believe it. I'm like, bullshit. As soon as I seen them dudes start framing the first house we ever did, I was like, boom, here we go. Off to the fucking races.
We have a guy locally to me, his house unfortunately burnt down in February, and he's going to be in for Christmas. And like, it was a tear down, build up, and it's amazing because when you do the work yourself, you get tied up and pulled all kinds of different ways, but you get a crew of 5-6 guys like that know what the fuck they're doing. They can frame a house in a weekend.
Yeah, especially like, I mean, it's just the bidding system that becomes tough. Like now we're in like super scale mode again. So like the way we have, like we have a purchasing department. So they do all of our estimates, our budgets, they put all of our sheets together. They put together all of like our like selection upgrades in our design studio and all that stuff together. And like, but the way we have to get estimates for framing is I got to print the fucking drawing on a plotter.
Right.
Our administrator has to drive it to the post office. They have to mail it to Ohio to the Amish. And then the Amish mail it back. So like, but you know, you're talking like 3 weeks to get like a bid back. But I mean, again, it's, you know, we pay about 25% higher than like the production guys, but like we want custom framers and we focus on all of that. A lot more quality.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's not a stick belt like Miranda Home.
No, it's so like, I get that question all the time where it's like, my sales guys are always like, hey man, can we build a house in like the 400 price point? I'm like, yeah, but I'm gonna have to use the shit of the shit of the shit. Like $100 windows, you know, the cheapest, you know, 2x8 subfloor, like, you know, and floor joists, like just the cheapest everything.
And every room's got to be a box.
Yeah, and you can't go anywhere on the foundation. It's got to be just a straight square. Like there's a reason, even Infinity, like, I love Infinity. I think they're one of the better production builders, but like take off the steep roof pitches. It's just a square.
Yeah.
I assure you. You know, like my partner told me this a long time ago and he was like, listen, man, a house is just a tool to sell product. That's all it is. Yeah. It's all a house is good for.
Right.
Selling the product, all the fixtures,
it's a square box.
Yeah, you can frame and build a house, but like once you start getting into the end finishes, like your windows and your fixtures and your countertops and your cabinets and your game rooms, like that's where all the money fucking adds up.
So yeah, but like yes and no, right? So like it's the first phase. So you look at a build. So build runs on 7 draw schedules. Like we do the work, we get paid. We do the work, we get paid. The big ones are foundation framing. That's where like your big dough is, and then your underground utilities. Other than that, like, and that's your variable cost because you can't control dirt. Like that's the thing you got to get. If you're gonna get into new construction, you better learn how to manage dirt. Because you're going to lose your ass. Like we lost our ass for 3 years. I mean, I've given up millions in learning.
So there's some big companies.
Crazy shit.
Can you elaborate on that?
Yeah, so like we build on scattered sites, meaning like you bring us a lot in Claysville and it's got rolling hills and we got rock and we got pyrite and we got all this crazy stuff. And you know, you get into like that stuff, you got 4-foot over digs on your foundation, so you're backfilling with stone, but like we do so much preemptive upfront work and that is second to none. No other companies do this. Like we do test pits on the lot before we even start digging. We get soil engineering, we do site cost analysis. Like that's why guys don't get involved in new construction is like, yeah, anybody can probably take a house from framing done to finish. Like we do it, it's a full gut, right?
Yep.
But like that foundation setting and setting a house correctly and making sure it's not too high or too low out of the ground because every foot you move it up or down, it creates dirt or your dirt short.
Right.
So like mitigating dirt is where like your variable cost is on every site.
Anybody that's ever rented an excavator was like, I'm just going to grade my yard and I'll just put this dirt over there. Dirt doubles in size every time you fucking move it.
Yeah, it's like a tree hitting the ground. It's like, I didn't big till it's on the ground. And you're like, holy shit.
Right.
So whenever a company like Miranda or Infinity, they come in, they buy an entire field.
Yeah, they're not the developers.
There's site development companies that do all that before they even start.
They've already tried. They already know what the soil is before they buy it.
So that's the liability of being a developer is you're taking the dirt liability portion of it. So like, let's say a house that, and it happened. Ryan Homes had 2 houses fall over the hill in Cannonsburg in the last couple of years. That developer is done forever. You know what I mean? Because it was on you, your soil engineering and all the stuff that you did was the reason for the house sliding. Now, again, like those guys know that they have a 40-foot bench. They can, their driveways are mapped out. There's no variable cost for them. It's just.
Well, you see like a lot of major road construction companies, they get into site development.
Yeah.
Because all the money is in site development.
Yeah, and there's a lot of guys that go bankrupt doing it. Yeah. It's super, you got to have big dough. So like, for instance, like Ted Taylor, he's in Peters and like, he's a legend. He's been doing it since the 60s. Like he built a house, when he was the first guy in Peters Township to build a house for $250 and they're like, bro, you're out of your fucking mind. Now look, 1.2 entry.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Who's out of their mind now? So he's doing a development on Thomas Road and dude, he's getting his ass kicked. He's out of pocket $8 million over budget. Like that's why your lots are now becoming $300,000 a piece or $250 a piece because DEP regulations, all this shit is just making it so fucking expensive that the buck just gets passed to you.
Yeah. Got it. They got houses behind. They built like a couple $1 million homes behind my house in O'Hara, and their lots were $400,000.
Fuck yeah!
I'm like, who the fuck is paying $400,000 for a lot?
Fuck yeah!
But if it's guaranteed to be good to build on, it's worth it.
It's not even a guarantee then. You know what I mean? Because the developers will lie to you. Like, there's no doubt. I bought lots off developers. They're like, it's fucking great, man. I hit the worst dirt ever. Early on in my career, before I knew, like, to just stop believing everybody. Yeah. That guy would lie to me.
So I got my tool belt. I'm ready to build. Fucking the dirt's good.
Yeah. So I think it's money.
And then you get yourself into that situation, and now you've got to remedy that soil.
Yeah, so let's just use this for an example. So, we've built over 70 houses the last 6 years, and we're building a 4,400 square foot one in Fallowfield, and we misjudged the dirt. So the house is 4,400 square feet, so it's 130 feet wide, and it's 65 feet deep. So you're creating all that dirt.
Yeah.
So 2 critical errors that we made was we underestimated the moving at 1.5 foot request by the client, which we should have said no. And then the client wanted to move the house up 30 feet where we had it positioned into a hillside, which would have worked out way better. Now we have this massive cut going around the back, which cost us $15,000 in hauling and $12,000 in a retaining wall.
Okay.
What are you going to do, right? Are you going to go to the client or are you going to
learn something new every day? When I was a kid, I worked for a construction company here in Oakmont, and they had a drop yard, like a dump. And there was dudes digging for a new house on like College Avenue. And I just was like cutting the neighbor's grass or whatever. And I said to the dude, I said, what are you going to do with all that dirt? He's like, we're going to dump it somewhere. I was like, I got somewhere you can dump it right down the road. And the dude like almost had a tear in his eye.
Oh, fuck yeah.
Because
he was getting ready to eat shit.
I should have been like, yeah, dude, I just charged you $10,000 and he probably would have gave me $10,000.
Yeah, he was getting ready to eat shit. Yeah, new home construction is 100% scalable. It's 100% able to do on volume. It is 100% system-based. It is 100% you are going to eat a shitload of shit going through it, no doubt. Absolutely.
So how do you get from a napkin to moving all this dirt? Like, there's got to be...
So even the same thing, right? So like
I go... Is there money behind it? Or
that was what I was going to say is like, I come from the fix and flip background, right? So I show love to the same people. Chris Masuka, absolutely my favorite human being. I fucking love that dude more than life himself. I went to him for $1.2 million.
Okay.
And I could get, now in my career, I've borrowed probably close to 75, 80 million. And I could go get cheaper money everywhere else in the world. I've never gone to another lender but Chris. Still, to this day. Probably buy 14 rentals a year. Still gonna, doing the same thing every time I go to him. Because you started me. I gotta show you love forever. Like, I'm indebted to you for the rest of my fucking life, dude. Yep. Whether this stops tomorrow or whatever happens, I owe you for the rest of my life.
Yep.
And I'll never, ever falter off of that.
Yep.
So funny story behind this is like, based upon my relationship and good faith with paying back money to people, you know, Chris entertained it. He would never entertain new construction with almost anybody.
Right.
Because again, you're putting $500,000 on dirt. Like there's not $500,000 value on that dirt, I assure you.
And Chris has rules.
Strict ones.
Yes, he does.
Yeah, strict ones. And so I went to Chris for the money, and he was like very resistant, didn't want to do it, met us on the lot, met with my partners, met the game plan. I mean, we had budget spreadsheets. I mean, I had everything. So, yeah, and then I backed out of the deal. And then Chris was so fucking happy, man. He was so happy. And then I called him back 2 days later. I was like, nope, doing it. Nope, changed my mind, I'm doing it.
Yeah.
And he was like, oh. So, yeah, we ended up buying 2 lots in South Park because I live there. And, again, you want to work in an area you're familiar with. I know the ARV, I know the area, I know the municipality, I know all. I can easily get through this. So yeah, he gave us the money on the first 2, and then we bought 4 more lots with him and did it again. He was even more, and he pulled me into his office, which is like, this is some real G shit. Like when you know you care about somebody. He pulled me into his office and he goes, hey man, I just want to let you know you're like creeping at like $17,000 a month in interest. And I'm like, yeah, we're good. We're good, man. Promise.
You're sleeping
Fucking great.
Yeah.
We're super great.
Yeah.
So, you know, we built the first 2 houses, and like, it was like nothing I've ever seen. So did it in 5.5 months, came under budget. I've never come under budget on a fucking project since. Never in my life.
I'd like to know what that feels like.
Never in my life. You know, any flipper that's like, yeah, I come on budget every time, lying.
Yeah.
You're lying.
I've never had a Tuesday that's come under budget.
For sure.
Time or money.
I wake up to an email every morning. I'm like, oh, there goes my entire day. So we're going to lose money today here. But yeah, so what I found out really early on is like, especially in the suburbs are different. So like, again, I only knew construction in the city, right? So from like Lawrenceville, that was big. And when I was doing that in 16, 14, we were investing in Lawrenceville. You know, shit over that way started popping up. And I just thought, you know, the guys in the cities like 360 LLC 45. I'm like, fuck, it doesn't matter. So we just named the company whatever LLC. But the first question that everybody asked when they came into our houses was, well, who's the builder? Oh, well, it's such and such. Well, who are they? Are they going to be around a warranty? Like, I don't know, man. Then it was like, I don't know if I like that yard. That's what it kind of turned into, right?
Yeah.
So, ate shit, didn't make anything. Paid Chris a shit ton of money. Absolutely ton. But
did you lose money on those deals?
no, made like 12 grand net. Yeah, you know what I mean? Like, just,
Sweet.
Yeah, I went and bragged about that to the family. Which almost like killed the partnership, to be honest, right? Because I mean, everyone was putting in a lot of time, a lot of effort, and you get what, like fucking $4 grand.
Right.
Like, you know, you just could have did that anywhere.
Yeah.
But you know what it really taught me in that moment was the power of brand. Like, okay, if you're gonna play in the suburbs, you got to play the Ryan Holmes game, you got to play the Miranda game, you got to play the Infinity game, you got to play like, okay, these are big brands, and I never cared about brand. And then that's when we're like, all right, we got a real company name, real this, real that. And that's when we went hard ever since on, you know, from developing the concept of Hemlock Homes at that point and then running the branding out after that. And honestly, like, we're like 6 years deep into the social media game of it. And like, I'll be honest, it's every Monday is our sales meeting. It's probably 52% of our revenue yearly.
Social media?
Yeah.
Damn.
Up until last year, we did 10 million a year, and I did 4,700 in marketing, you know? So it was all referral based and it was all brand based. So like once we did that, we developed, so we understood I understand financing. So I run all the operations in the financing side of the company, oversee more now, but, I understood the cash flow game again, right? So we only get paid cash cycle. So if we're building one house at a time or 2 houses at a time, I'm going to get money every other month. Well, that's not going to be sustainable, right?
Right.
So, you know Seb Russo from Universal Settlement?
Yeah.
Yeah, so we built his house.
Okay.
Yeah, that was our first pre-sold that we ever did. Gave dude a smoking ass deal.
Yeah.
Like I met him through another relationship.
Yeah.
He probably made $500,000 on the deal. I only probably made 175 on the deal. But again, we're moving our way up, right?
Yeah.
But again, he's plugged us into some other people ever since. So it's just relationship based and kind of how it's gotten us to being able to just leverage as much sales as we've done with low marketing budget. So yeah, that was our first big one. We did one for him at like 6,700 square feet total in Wexford. And then that just kind of propelled us from there of like, okay, we can really build a big house now. And, but we understood we were going to struggle in cash flow. So we started a remodeling company, which we just actually dissolved recently because we no longer like it. I look at allocation of money of like time on the dollar, meaning like supervision time per dollar, right? And so we were doing about 1.7 million in remodeling this year, and it makes about 350 grand, 375 grand. And I'm like, it's a shiny penny. Like you don't want to get rid of it because it makes money, but it's like so if you're doing SWAT, right? Like company at liability, that's a threat because you don't know how you're going to get a review from the client. You can't control the situation. Like Sally gets into a fight with Bill. Bill beats up Sally. You show up there in the morning. The whole house is fucking silent. Dude's walking around mad. Like you can't control that.
Nope.
Yeah.
And we're doing 40 plus projects a year inside people's houses. Like we don't do exterior remodeling. We only do interior remodeling. So like that's the hard shit.
Yep.
And you know, we did a lot of it for a long time for cash flow. I mean, it kept us alive through COVID. We would have never made it.
Yeah.
Ever. I mean, we were like
Yeah.
out of business
Yeah.
a couple times.
It's crazy that like there's been like this ebbs and flows through 58 episodes now. And we're at a point now in business where like business owners are either like shrinking or thinking.
Yeah.
And we talked about it with the last two guests about how like, you're talking about this revenue number. Everybody always, like before COVID, it was revenue. And now that we've gotten through COVID and like saw how shitty it could get and still survived, we're all in this like shrink process, like where we want to do the revenue, but we want to do the revenue right.
Yeah, so that's our key word. Our power word this year is efficiency.
Right.
So
you're talking, you were doing what, 1.7 million?
Yep.
Just
remodeling.
Yeah, right.
Yeah, just remodeling.
Which would be a huge home remodeling business that people would love to hang their hat on every day.
Yeah.
But you're looking at it like, well, this is just the toy. Like,
yeah. So the way I looked at it is like, okay, once we got through COVID, like I transitioned offices. I believed early on the reason why we scaled one so much is because I believed in people very early on. Like I brought on an office manager before I didn't have a fucking dollar. Not a dollar. I'm not hiring $80,000 a year employees. I didn't have a fucking dollar. You know, but I knew this was going to be unscalable without a team. Like, so our first office was in Castle Shannon next to Martin's Auto Gallery. Like, it was this shithole 1902 building. We had the basement level of it, but it was fucking most badass thing in the world, we thought. You know what I mean? But it gave us brand credibility and it allowed us to have a space. And I knew that I needed a design studio. No idea how to do it. I redid the design studio 15 fucking times. Made so many mistakes. You know, I didn't have no process, no system, no nothing. I'm winging it. I don't even know how to sell new construction. I'm in sales because I've been in sales my whole life. Like, I don't know shit.
Yeah.
You just need somebody.
Oh, fuck.
Just give me the right guy.
And then COVID hits.
Yeah.
And then so we sell 17 houses. So our business, again, interest rates dropped to fucking zero. So everybody's trying to build. Everybody's trying to do everything. I'm signing all these contracts, thinking life's amazing. Then COVID, you know what I mean? Dude, we built 17 houses through COVID. We didn't raise a price on any of them. I ate shit. I was building people's houses and handing them $80,000 in the same day.
Believe it.
You know, and I didn't. But it was a team effort, right? So like we sat down and we all had a conversation with the whole team.
Yeah.
And this was at, I think we're still in our first office or maybe moved to our Peters Township office. But at this point, like we were like, hey, what are we going to do here? Like, do we go to everybody and ask them for $1 and burn every relationship that we fucking built? Or do we just see if we can somehow manage through this, not say shit to nobody, come out the other side and have a clean brand?
Yeah.
And I was like, well, for me, fuck it. If we're going to do it, we're going to go bankrupt. Like, I'm sorry to everybody, but this is probably what is going to happen is we'll probably go bankrupt. And everybody stayed, man, which was wild. And that was the toughest time of my life.
Yeah, a lot of people don't take that into consideration. Like, all it takes is for you to go to those 10 of those 17 people, and they just get a lawyer involved.
Yeah.
And they're like, well, we signed on the line for X.
Yeah.
Now you're in fucking court.
Because I heard rumors anyways of builders losing and they still got to build the house. Now you got to go back to that person. How you been in the relationship? Like, it's over, dude. Like, they're going to treat you like shit. You're going to hate each other. The whole fucking thing's fucked. And like, there's so much legality behind building a new house, like final sign-offs for final draws. Like, you're on a slippery slope, man, like with people. You got to chill.
Yeah.
So like for us, we've always improved the experience. So like my whole thing is like the next client should always have a better experience than the one before it. And so we refine constantly. Like it's always, I sit with every department every week and talk about refining. Again, like the 3-3-1 method. Like I want to hear 3 problems, 3 solutions. You pick one, or 3 problems, 3 solutions to each problem. And then you pick the one solution you think is right. And we do that all the time. Because again, like, I want to hear your ideas for refining the department. I don't sit in your department. So like, I need to hear how you're going to fix it. And then if I don't like the idea, I'm going to tell you.
Yeah.
But again, like when you start to build that department, it's your ideas, then great. But that was the toughest thing, man. But I'll tell you what, it made us get so good. So good. Because then as soon as COVID hit, like we checked major dough. Because we were just ready. Because we staffed up. So now I even kept hiring during COVID when I was like bleeding out. And this comes back to the power of relationships and doing the right thing. So I have a friend who worked at Best Buy for the longest time. Doesn't work there anymore, but I always will go to my people and buy whatever I can from them. And bought some appliances from them years and years and years. Calls me one day, he's like, hey man, I got this lady who wants to redo her kitchen. Can you help her? Cool, went and met her. Some other contractor that was inside the circle, even like kind of more popular ones back in the day, a few years ago, screwed her over on her back porch. So then I hooked her up with one of my buddies who came and fixed it. She gave me her kitchen for $140,000. We did good on that. So we're sitting at COVID. I'm probably $170,000 in debt right now, and I have not a fucking dollar coming in on ARs. And I mean not a fucking dollar coming in on ARs. I am shitting my pants. I am driving home in fucking tears, knowing that I'm gonna have to fire everybody and that I'm actually gonna go bankrupt. So that client who I did a kitchen for calls me. She goes, hey, I wanna do a pool house. I'm a consultant, so I'm gonna write it all off. I'm gonna put an office in there. I want it for the family. We're gonna do all this shit, yada, yada, awesome. Baller ass pool house, like $400,000. She calls me 2 days later and was like, hey, how much can I get off if I write you a check for $200,000 tomorrow? That's how I paid off the 170, and that's the only fucking reason why we're still in business. I swear to God. She's another another person that I will fucking, I just text her all the time. I'm like, I just love you for being here.
Does she know?
No.
She will know now.
Yeah, I've never told her, in the sense of that.
That's like always a game I played like in business is like a lot of guys will say like I have this friend and it's like he's not really your friend. Yeah. He does business with you. Sure. He's a client or customer. And like when COVID was like in the height of things, like I had customers, I own a dry cleaner. My customers were coming in. They were like, well, can we buy gift cards? Yeah. I'm like, no, we're not like that broke yet. But like, I'm going to write your number down. Yeah, I'm going to write your number down just in case.
I also didn't take any PPP. None. Yeah. I did not take any. I wouldn't, because I didn't want the government involved in my business. Like I was like, I'm that guy. Like it's the same thing. Like we've scaled our business. So this year we'll probably be at about somewhere around 12.5, 13 million in total revenue. And that's solely based on our dollar, like no outside investment. I could have probably took 2 million from investors in 10X, but I would have fucked it up because I wasn't mature enough.
Right.
I wasn't mature enough in business to understand that kind of money. Like I had to go through COVID to understand cash flow. I had to understand how debt cycles and cash cycles work. Like that made me level up to an actual operator. Like I say that all the time. I'm like, listen, and don't get me wrong, I love business coaches. Like I have one and I pay big money for it and I love it. But like we need more operators, not fucking coaches. Like there's not enough operators out there anymore, like true operators, and there's some guys that get themselves in some situations like, and you better be an operator or you're going down.
Better know how to move the dirt.
Or you better know how to make money.
Yeah.
You know, that was the thing is like, so we scaled 143% for 4 years in a row based out of just sheer necessity because I had to keep driving revenue or we would have never stayed open. Never missed one payroll. We did take bonuses away from 2 people, which I can gladly say we gave them bonuses back yesterday.
Nice.
As in like, hey, I you know, we had our Christmas party and we wrote to them like, hey man, we didn't forget the sacrifices that you guys made along the way. Like here's a
additional
large bonus for, you know, what we, you know, because we stand on integrity. Like I'm not here to ever downplay that I'm the reason why this company is remotely successful. Like I told you, it's our people. Yeah, like our team, our culture is so fucking good, dude. And like, I've never had more fun in the game and, you know, being around these people. And now we have a team of like 14, just internal staff. Yeah, it's been a game changer. And I think a lot of people, though, they get scared to make them first hires. Like, the people will change you. Like, even when I didn't have the money, spend it. Because, again, if you're going to scale and you're going to do big numbers, you better have the people. And I was willing to invest. So my turnover in my office is less than 3%. So I have people that have been there since day one. I have people that have been there 5-6 years now. And I have people that have been through the shit. And now that we're getting to the point, like, they're ready. And we're all ready because we practice.
Yeah, that's an empty feeling in business when you wake up and realize that you don't have a team. Like you're in it alone. Like I went through it and like I pretty much cut my business in half because of it. I was like, I'm just doing this for all the wrong reasons, for all the wrong fucking people. And now like over the course of the next couple of months, we're gonna try to find the right people because like I had good people and I kept them, but like I need to find the next branch of good people. Yeah,
it's like so I'm reading Good to Great. You know, leaders that took good companies to great companies. And what was the thing, right? They were hesitant on hiring. They want A talent. You know, I like A talent, but I like A talent outside of the industry that I'm in. So like sales, I hire cars. I hire car salesmen. Because what I don't want inside my business is you to come from DR Horton or you to come from Miranda or whoever and say, well, we did this in Miranda. Right. I don't give a fuck. Like this is a Miranda. Right. We're not the same business model. You know what I mean? So like I like bringing people on that are out. So like my 2 sales guys, one just came on from cars. He was in the financing department. So he understands the car sales part of it, the systems part of it, and then how to get through the process part of it because he moved into the financing side. So he'll know how to get things through the different departments. So all I got to teach him is how to talk about houses. So like I'm down with training, you know, but as outside is like in construction, you just gotta be careful on who you put into it because it's, you know, I hire slow and I'll fire fast.
That's sound advice there.
You know, like that's where I'm at.
Because like I said before, you wake up and you got the wrong person working for you.
I mean, dude, I've had my best friend at one point as my salesperson. My first one, I fucked it all up. I was not a good leader. Yeah. It probably would have still not worked out, but it was definitely majority my fault looking back, 100%. And, you know, that's just what's going to happen in business. Like, you're going to have to, like, level up as you go. And then some people you will fuck up. You will fuck up them being a good employee. Right. Or you'll just expose them being a bad employee, and then you have to fire them.
That's the untalkable thing in business. Is like, oh, this person sucks. Well, usually it's because you let them get away with bad shit as their leader. The culture. Yeah. Right. No, I've lived it. So we are very small in staff right now for a reason. And it's because I started, 8 years ago. I was 32 years old, and like things were just always clicking, and there was no downturns. Yeah. And then I was like, I got all these fucking people working here, and we're getting the job done. So what are you bitching about? And then it's like, well, nobody cares. Yeah. Half the people, there was like 2 people there that cared, and I'm like, fuck, I'm carrying all these people that don't care, and the people that care are sticking around at the end of the day to finish the shit that they fucked up. And it's like, now it's not fair to them. It's not fair to me.
Yeah. That was remodeling.
There you go. Yeah.
We had to go behind them and clean them up too much. You know what I mean? So like, I broke it down to my partners in the same shit. I sent them an email one night and said, hey guys, this is what it is, man. I think 150% we don't do this. We're just fucking dumb. I was like, this is the biggest liability to our company right now. I'm like, you mean to tell me? So I sent them our historical numbers. So over the last 6 years, we've almost done 44 million in construction completed.
New homes.
Both remodel and new construction as a company combined.
Got it.
That's more than most.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? And I was like, listen, guys, our average sale price back in 2017 was $365. Then it went to $435. Then it went to $515. Now we're at $865. I'm like, we're leveling the fuck up in the means of clientele. Our perfect client avatar is 55 years old, building their final home, that understands money and wealth and understands quality. That's my perfect client avatar, and I understand that. They build badass ranches on 500 acres and don't give a fuck, and they want what they want. And they value good shit.
Yep.
You know, they're not here to get into the community and for the big house for the cheap dollar.
Right.
So yeah, I mean, I was like, guys, all we have to do is sell another house and a half, and that eliminates 42 other jobs we have to do a year.
Yeah, it's an opportunity cost thing. You know, you're tying up your crews. If you've got crews there, and if you've got, I mean, if you're doing would you say 1.7?
We'll do 1.7 this year in remodeling.
Okay, so if you're doing 1.7, then you've got a substantial crew there.
Yeah.
So if you've got guys that are good and some guys that are not so good, and the good guys are cleaning up after the not so good guys, get rid of the not so good guys, keep the good guys, and make them and have them to build the other house and a half, and you've made up.
Yeah. So like that, there was another question to that too, right? So I look at two numbers when I look at our monthly reports from our bookkeeper. It's our EBITDA and it's our overhead percentage. Other than that, I don't give a fuck. Like, I don't chase numbers. Like, what I tell the team is just like for next year, we are here to impact 29 families by building the best home humanly possible and giving them the best experience. Now, in that 29 families, it should lead to 25 million. That 25 million will then lead to a sliding scale bonus based upon how we hit revenue. 18 million's 5%. It's 7% from 18 to 20. It's 9% from 20 over. Then it's 14% over 25. That's our impact. But we don't chase money, because if you're just going to chase money, it will blow up in your face.
We've talked about that on several episodes, that if you're in business and all you're doing is chasing dollar bills, you're not going to be in business long, and you're going to be miserable in the business you're in.
You're going to hate it, because guess what? Money in any business does this.
Yeah.
It slides like crazy depending on what season you're in, right? So like, all right, end of the year, we had taxes. If you got taxes due, you got bonuses, you got all this shit coming out, you got, whatever you're trying to do at the end of the year. It's expensive. Like that's Christmas party, blah, 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 whatever it is. Gets expensive, man. And most businesses are slow right now, and we're just shelling out dough.
Yep.
Unless you're selling fucking trinkets for kids' stockings, you're pretty slow right now.
That's it.
Because people are focused.
Yeah.
And like my business will spike a little bit over the holidays because people start getting dressed up for those Christmas parties.
They want to get their night. They want to get their New Year's shit dry clean.
But come January, a lot of my customers are in that 55 and plus, and they're headed to Florida. Mm-hmm. They're gone. They're done spending money. People are recouping credit card debt. They don't want to spend so they start looking at little things like, what cost me? Like I spent $100 a month in dry cleaning.
Facts.
Well, they're like, I'm not spending that in February. I mean, they'll be back in March whenever they're back to like fuck it again. But like, it's a weird time of year for all kind of businesses. Then this year we had an election, so that doesn't help.
Yeah.
It slows a lot of shit down.
It did. It changed things.
But at the end of the day, if all you're doing is opening your bank statement on your phone and looking at it like,
and it's probably not even your real number.
No.
It's probably an inflated number, because there's a bunch of probably money in there that ain't yours.
Right.
I think that's the truth.
100%.
And now a brief word from our sponsor.
Streamline your life with Duro Cleaner's complete pickup and delivery service. From your doorstep to their state-of-the-art cleaning facility and back, all without you lifting a finger. You get time back in your day and fresh, ready-to-go clothes. And just wait, big things are coming soon to make your experience even better. Visit DuroCleaners.com, because life's better without laundry.
You've got a pretty good grip on the finance side of your business, and that's my cup of tea. So I want to ask you about something, because I just started working with a company. So I have some real estate background. Mm-hmm. I have a couple rentals.
I was looking at one you're just getting ready to put up.
Yeah.
Looks good.
Thanks. So I know a little bit about it, but this company that I just started working with does new construction commercial side, on the commercial side. And it's a startup. They do stuff all around the country. Mm-hmm. so this was a little bit out of my wheelhouse, but I've known the owners for a long time, so they had me to come on. So this is a little bit of a learning curve for me. And tracking with job costing and, most of my clients we deal with, we use like QuickBooks or whatever, right? QuickBooks wasn't even close to capable of handling this kind of shit.
Not even at all.
So are you using like project management software and construction accounting software? What are you using?
Yeah, so you know the money and the financing side, right? So like my bookkeeper, again, I did early on, and he's been with me for 6 years, so he understands the way I operate. So our monthly reports from him after he reconciles they're top fucking notch. But we run through Builder Trend. So our company runs off of, we have a Go high level CRM that integrates with whatever we're doing. We run out of Asana for accountability, and then we do Builder Trend for general contracting in there. Builder Trend is super layered, and it can be, it's almost too much, but it's capable of, whatever. If they're going to do 100 million, you can do it in Builder Trend, 100%. Yeah, like we track everything in there. Yeah, so, and it can get super fucking dialed in.
Yeah. So that's
because I look at phase costs, I look at variable tracking. So like we track even like what our estimators are putting out to what our actuals are, what's the variable ratio to that, like how far are we off? Like, yeah.
There's so much.
I know, like, I can basically point out now at this point, like exactly, unless we have a dirt problem. If I get out of the dirt good, man, like I know exactly what we're going to make on every house. 100%. There's no variable.
Yeah.
Shouldn't be a variable.
And that's what we're dialing in. So they use, we use Procore for the project management side. And then we just set up with Foundation. You ever hear Foundation for the accounting side? It integrates directly with Procore. So we've been going through the training, which has been intense. Not so much intense like the accounting side. Like I get it.
No, there's just 17,000 layers to it.
There's a ton.
Yeah.
And it's also like, QuickBooks, their big thing is it's so user friendly and it's all automated.
We still use QuickBooks too, but
there's so many layers.
Oh yeah.
With the project costing and all the different budgets and all the different line items and the AIAs and that if you don't get set up, and whenever we started with this company and they were kind of taken back and they had this lead up time to go live that was months. Like they didn't want to go live until like,
which is probably smart.
But they were under the impression that we were way further in, way bigger.
Yeah.
And I'm like, no, we're doing this very prematurely.
Yeah.
And they were like, so you're just brand new and like we don't even have that many projects yet. And I'm like, no, we want to get started the right way.
Yeah.
They were kind of taken back by that because I can imagine if you start into one of these kind of companies and you don't have a good grip on what every project is costing you. And not only like job 1, 2, 3, 4 cost me this and I made this and that's it, but every line item, because that shit can get away from you.
Yeah, we track every line item.
There's so much.
So it'll track in Builder Trend your reds, your blacks, your variables, your estimates. Yeah, all that. Yeah,
it's amazing.
It'll pull all your key reports.
Yeah, it's amazing how much is involved in all the different, because you have all these different vendors that are involved in. You have to know every. I mean, if you think about it, and just in a flip, you buy a house, you gut it and flip it. There's so many different things you have to worry about. New construction it's a
different animal.
It is.
It gets so micro.
Yeah.
If you'll do well because if you love the numbers and you love playing the game like that. Like I don't go to projects really anymore. Like I don't. House is a house. It's a non-emotional thing for me anymore. Now it's more about, again, the client experience when we get to the very end and the beginning, right? So like I want to make sure from the very first phone call that our clients know, exactly the clarity of what is going to happen. The agenda meeting before you come into our office, we send you an email of your agenda. Time for this is how much we're going to spend time here. This is what we're going to do. This is what we're going to go over. This is how this is going to go, right? So again, builds confidence. So then when you do that, it just keeps building confidence. So then you recap that meeting. Hey, sir, these were the changes that we made from this meeting today. Do you see anything that changes anything? But really what we're doing that they don't know is we're just CYAing, right? So like we're copying that email, putting it into Asana. Like that's a recorded thing.
Yep.
Because again, as petty as it sounds, like there gets into this shit where it's like, you said that. No. We didn't say nothing.
Absolutely.
Yeah, we didn't say nothing.
Yeah.
So those are the things you'll learn as you go along. Like, whether it's a homeowner or whether it's on the commercial side, you're working with like, a project, whatever the owner's rep is, they fucking suck too. Like they're no funner than a homeowner.
No.
Because I've done, we did 4 units in top of North Side, very top, and we worked for one of them guys. I was like, I'll never fucking do this again. Fuck this. Again, I lost my ass. But again, like they designed a shitty product. We warned them about it in the beginning. We were very early on. This was a huge project for us. Biggest project was probably $3 million. Never had a bigger project back then. This is like year 2. Ate shit.
Yep.
Lost my ass. Probably lost $300,000. And then they designed the house wrong and the roofs were leaking because they drained. Listen, man, this is common sense, right? The roofs, instead of just running them front to back, they ran them back to front. They ran the water down the front of the building onto a flat deck, which created a shower, and then went into a scupper, and then down into the house, and then out. Like, why don't you just run it out the back?
It looked good, man.
Looked terrible. There's gutters down the front of it, first off. You know what I mean? I'm like, you're bringing the water internal when you're creating this like bathtub up here on this deck.
Yeah.
It was a nightmare. I ripped all of them off.
So who designs
the architect? So we have in-house CAD now.
Okay.
Yeah. So we have a CAD guy that.
Because I've seen all the like your social media. You post a lot of the places that you do.
Yeah.
And a lot of them are spectacular.
Yeah. Thank you.
And I was wondering, who comes up with these ideas?
Yeah. So since we shut down remodeling, we're like, okay, well, what do we do? How do we fill the void? Well, how do we attract more clientele? Because the problem with now that I'm having is I have a sales process problem, meaning my duration of my sales process is too long. I can only fit so many clients a year based upon my timeline of duration per the sales process. Inefficiency. So here we go. We're going to go in here and work this thing. I plan to condense the full custom line down to 3 months, and we just rolled out semi-custom, which is I can probably get you through the process in 30 days and ready to build. Semi-custom means we have 10 floor plans, 7 different options for a floor plan. Hey, if this fits for you, great. Some people don't want to make all the decisions of a full custom house, but still want to build a house.
Sure.
So we started devising that, and that should help our cash flow. We don't really have a cash flow problem too much anymore, but like I can't get any more clients in. Like we can do this many clients. That's it, man.
Right.
I hit the ceiling. So now it's like, all right, well, where's the inefficiencies of what you're doing? Look at your process. A lot of inefficient shit. So I went back and fixed it. Now we're revising that, and I'm tracking how long it's taking from one thing to another, to another, to another, to another, based upon days.
Yeah. I would think that most customers would probably fit more into a semi-custom bucket.
Yes, because unless you are really, really good at making decisions, you should really not build full custom. You're going to drive yourself fucking nuts.
Yeah, we talked about it on here. There's that walkable floor plans model.
I've done it.
And it's like...
I've had women cry there. I've had fucking wives cry there. Swear to God. Because they realize that their bed and the shit they want to pile in there will not fucking fit. And that's all the money they got. They can't make it any bigger.
Yeah.
I've seen it go great, and I've seen it go fucking terrible.
It's crazy.
But I mean, that was, they shut that down, but that was super cool. That was
it's shut down?
Yeah.
I
think one at Pittsburgh Mills Mall is at least.
Yeah.
Yeah. But that was badass. It was cool. I took some clients there early on.
Yeah.
Yeah, it was innovative. Just in a very shitty.
Now I know why he responded to our email to come on the fucking show, because he was just like, bitches are crying in here. I'm out.
Dude, it was wild, man. Like, again, you try and get into showing as much as what's possible. Like, can you paint a different picture? Can you paint a better picture? Like, can you maybe get an upsell here? Like, you can get a little bit of everything.
Yeah, to what Jerry said, like, everybody thinks, oh, well, I want to build this, and you're telling what they can afford. And you know, at
you gotta talk money very upfront.
Yeah, because $800,000, you think you should be able to get everything you want.
No.
Theoretically,
no.
You can't.
$800,000 is like getting you. I'll be super honest. Like you start getting into the 6s, you're gonna get a really fucking nice house.
Yeah.
You get in the 8s, you're gonna get something real special. You get into the millions, you're balling out. Not like on like what we do, meaning like our scale of the build. I can't speak for the other builders, but like you get into the millions of us, you're getting fucking laid out house. Yeah. Like super laid out. Which is cool though. Like it's cool to see over the course of like time and like you know, every year I think we had maybe $1 or $2 million houses a year, which is cool. Like they're cool fun project pieces, but you can like again, you'll lose 20 grand in dirt, 25 grand in dirt. You know, you'll have to be cool with that. Because they're challenging. Like I went up 400 feet. Like we just finished a house in Bell Vernon. We cut in, we burrowed their utilities across the road, underneath the road, put them up through, ran them 600 feet up the hill, developed the whole lot. I mean, it just gets, you know, they're cool legacy projects, you know, because now you can see this house sitting on 70 when you drive by this big badass thing. It wasn't there. I
built that.
Yeah, it's all dark and bad. It's sick.
But you can drive by, and if you know what to look for, you can drive by a lot of projects that started and ended in the beginning phases of dirt, where people were just like, I can't keep fucking throwing money at this.
Yeah.
It'll be a graded lot somewhere, and you're like, oh, that's what happened.
Yeah, I do it a little different too. Like, so when we first started, I reverse engineered it. So when we first started, breaking into the market was going to be the hardest thing for us. Like new construction's not an easy thing to break into, especially in the suburbs. Like it is locked the fuck down by the production builders. And they spend big money on everything. So again, I just mimic everything they do. Like I don't need to reinvent the wheel. So, you know, for us, it was just trying to align with what they have going on, understanding like you got to be different. So when people would come see us, we would be the last person they would come see. And like, I would be like upset about it. Fuck, man. I'm the last guy at the table. Then I was like, wait a minute, this is a real opportunity here. So then I started asking them like, what did you like? What did you not like? What did you do? How'd this go? Da, 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 blah, 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 blah. And then I would say, okay, I'm the last guy here, so I get to hear everything that they hate about this company, this company, this company, this company, this company, this company. So if I want to get started, I'm going to do everything that they don't do, and I'm just going to catch what trickles out the bottom. And I'm cool with that for the first few years. Like, that's going to get me good. I didn't need 20 houses a year. So, like, that's what we did. And then we just built a great house and just kept building a good house and just kept building a good house and just kept building a good house. And, you know, I can name on two fingers clients that like we probably had a dispute with, and both of them were my fault very early on when I didn't know the sales process well enough. I didn't handle it the way I should have handled it. I made some mistakes. I made some, you know, clerical errors and selections and stuff like that. And again, that's a part of business, you know, like unfortunately you're going to have that. Yeah. And, you know, but again, now I can identify and see a lot because it's so much easier for me to train now because I made all the mistakes personally. Yeah. So like now it's like, I can help the salespeople. I can help our operations manager. I can, you know, help our admin and everybody like that. Because I ran the social media at one point. I did all this shit at one point. I did all the billing at one point. Right. I did all this stuff at one point.
That's the famous thing. I never ask anybody to do anything I wouldn't do myself.
Oh, never. You know? Right. So that's the thing about the team, man, is like they know that I'm in the trenches with you every day. Yeah, like I don't just sit in my office and fucking like stare at the wall. Like I'm on the go here. I'm with you. I'm with you. I'm with you. We're doing this. We're doing that. Boom, 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 boom. Like I'm pretty hard to deal with because I'm just like I'm nonstop. Da, 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 da. Like we're moving at a pace.
I'm gonna switch it up a little bit. Is John Jones gonna fight Tom Aspinall?
John Jones is by far the greatest fighter of all time.
He's walking out of the room if
he will. I don't think he should fight Tom Aspinall. I think that's the weak fight.
Where the hell did that come from?
He's a UFC guy.
I think that's the weak fight. Yeah. I think he should fight Pereira. I do. I think he should fight Pereira.
Yeah.
I don't think I think Tom's too young. I don't think there's no reason to fight him. I think John Jones will murder him. And I think John Jones will also murder Francis because now that he's in boxing, like he's weak. If they would have fought when Francis was fighting UFC, I think John Jones would still clean him.
Okay.
But I think John Jones is the greatest fighter of all time, hands down. If you didn't see his fighting IQ against Stipe, then he murdered him.
Oh, he crushed him.
That is fighting IQ at the highest level possible. That is dissection.
He's a business guy too.
Yeah.
You know,
I like him and Adesanya. So like too methodical.
Didn't Jones turn himself
Izzy fell
in?
off, which they always have to run, right? Which sucks.
Now it's like Russian controlled.
Well, because they're ground and pound. Like until you can be a better wrestler, like I am.
They're
good
just
luck.
running shop.
Yeah, because like they'll smother you. Nobody can keep up with the pace. Like,
I
dude,
got a
they
question.
just beat you down.
Didn't Jones turn himself in after a DUI and like have a crack pipe?
Yeah, but John
in his
Jones also,
possession?
but John Jones also like has wolves and shit as pets, and like let one out on a dude, and then chase him with a shotgun.
I just wanted to clear up the IQ comment.
Yeah.
You were real strong with the fight IQ. I wanted to clear up the IQ comment.
He's made some
Definitely had a bad drug run. Yeah, for sure. But here's the craziest shit. He would do coke all the way up until the fight and beat the shit out of you. He wouldn't even train. Like, you're that guy. And these are like the most elite fighters on earth.
Imagine for what he would have done if he would have applied himself.
Oh, fuck.
Killed people.
He's the best fighter
untouched.
ever. Not even a close second.
Have you seen him fight in real life?
No. I was going to go to the one in New York, and I regret, and they moved it. They got canceled. But I had tickets for it.
Okay.
Yeah, I was going to go see it in New York.
That game's changed a lot.
It has. They sold out a little bit when Endeavor bought them out.
UFC?
Yeah.
Yeah. I think UFC will be the ultimate no matter what, as long as Dana's there. I don't know how you replace Dana.
Right.
Dana is a fucking stud.
He is very good at what he does.
If you've ever heard that story, like that's real deal. Yeah. That's a real deal operator.
Yeah.
I mean, he built up Power Slap to $1.4 billion in a year.
Just
1
people
year.
slapping each other. Like,
1 year, it's $1 billion valuation.
industry.
1 fucking year.
Yeah, that dude's a maniac.
have you thought about going out of state, or you just?
Yeah, so we get that all the time now, man, and like, no.
You're good with where you're at.
Yeah, I think we're gonna the goal for us is I think we're gonna sustain somewhere between 25 and 30 million a year, and that'll be sustainable for us.
So that's where you want to go. So that was going to be my next question. So these production builders, they're doing way more than that.
Yeah, but they're a financing company. They're not builders.
Yeah.
Like, they make money off title and insurance.
Oh, really?
Oh yeah, they don't make fucking shit on building a house. Very small. So they might build a house for 40 grand, or 40 or 50 grand, whereas like, which is great, right? When you're building 2,000.
Right.
But my houses, typically anything from 5 to 650, I'm making 150. Okay. They would make fucking 30. My house is from 750 to $1 million plus, it's 400. So, because you're building basically two.
Yeah.
Of the small.
Yeah. So, for instance, if you're going to buy a Miranda home, you're saying that they're the title company, they're the insurance.
Everything goes through them, and there's a reason why they're like, "Oh, we'll give you the $15,000 incentive."
Right.
I'm like, but that's already tacked on. Like, you're gonna fucking see it.
Yeah.
Like, it's all bullshit. And then they'll be like, "Oh, your interest rate will be 4." I'm like, they just bought your points.
Yeah.
You just didn't see it on your HUD yet. When your closing costs are 35 grand. You're going to wonder why. So I joined the Ryan Homes group on Facebook just to hear the chaos and just to see like what not to do, right? So like all you hear in there is about their fucking financing company. All you hear is it's all lies. It's all bullshit.
So they wouldn't be happy if you went and got pre-qualified and went to
They don't even, they'll lose money before you do that.
Yeah.
Oh yeah, they want your policy because they're going to sell it immediately. Yeah, they want all that.
Yeah, they want the loan.
Yeah, because they make money off you 4 times.
Yeah.
Whereas I make money off you once.
Right.
You spend a lot of time looking at competition, or you just kind of,
Yeah, all the time.
Yeah.
You got to pay attention.
Yeah, but I so my ultimate celebrity person is Kobe Bryant. Like, there's not even.
Who wins in a fight, Kobe or Jones?
John Jones, unfortunately. But if you ask me who's the greatest basketball player of all time, I think you have an argument.
Like that Mamba mentality.
Yeah, for sure. Because you were average.
Right.
Jordan wasn't average.
Right. Okay.
Like, there ain't nothing average about Jordan. So but for me, like, Kobe had a kill list when he was 13. So like, that's what I have. So I have the companies. There's 5 companies that are specifically on my kill list that I want to get ahead of you, 100%.
You want to share
And
them,
I think that, for sure. Costa Homes, I look at them because they've been in business 40 plus years and they have scaled to crazy levels and they've kept it simple. They've done a little development, they've done a little Maron, they do big shit, $1 million plus, scattered sites, and they make fuck you money.
Are they around here? Or what?
Yeah, they're in South Hills.
Yeah, it costs the COSTA.
Yep. Yeah. Jeff's a savage. I mean, he's a good operator, man. He's been doing it for a very long time. They built a great business model. Why would I not want to look up to them?
Yeah.
And then you got the production guys. You have Wayne Homes, you got Perry Homes, you got Schumacher Homes, you got, those guys. K-Hope just left. We bought their office. So that was cool. But yeah, man, they're
still on the list, though.
Yeah. But because you're in my sector. So like that is an immediate weakness and threat to our company. So like even when I seen a builder come up in Peters and had like 2 builds, I'm like, why didn't we get them leads? Now I want to cross-reference you on SEO. Now I want to get inside your Google ads. Now I want inside your implementation. Like, why did we not even get the lead? What are you doing that we're not getting? Because we're the top person in that area. Like Peters is our area.
Yeah.
And why did we not even get the call? So I just want to know. Like, cool, I'm not mad about the business.
Yeah,
like,
did they know somebody there?
Yeah,
What
right.
the
The game is the game, right? If you don't get the deal, it's cool. But like, I want to know why. Like, why are we not even just contacted? So
is my phone not ringing?
Yeah, why is my phone not ringing with that? So that's what I look into. And then, like I said, even with the production guys, so you see the signs on the side of the road. It says, this plan this way.
Yeah.
I'm the only guy in the South Hills as a builder who puts their signs right in the middle of theirs. It just says build on your own lot.
I thought you were going to say you just
says build on your own lot. And I'm the only dude that does it because everybody looks at them fucking signs.
I thought you were going to say I turned the fucking arrow.
No. But it's our cheapest marketing dollar, right? So it's $250 a week. We average about 3.5% conversion on it. Like, it's fucking cheap, dude. And it averages out to like a build a year. Made $150,000 off of what? $6,000 investment, $4,000 investment. No doubt, let's do it.
Yeah.
Not a bad gig, yeah.
So if you do roughly 30 a year and you get, like, how far out are you booked? Like, do you only go so far?
No, so we'll do hour and 15 minutes in each direction. So we now are targeting, like, I'm going right at the competition. So most of my competition is out of Greensburg, so I'm going right towards you. I'm going for market share. Facts. So I'm going south. We moved our office to Washington because I believe in it. Like, they're building the infrastructure.
Yeah.
And the money's just flowing.
Yeah, because ever since the casino went down there, like
casino's down there, the outlets are down there, like
golf,
the restaurants are all down there. Like, they're talking about putting Costco down there. All the car dealerships are down there. Like, they have shops everywhere.
Yeah, it's starting to South Point's close.
Yeah.
South Point development there.
That was the big boom of the South Hills. That was like the tech boom too, of like when they started bringing in like all kinds of wild ass companies.
Yeah, Range Resources is
sure.
And they just renewed, I think, another 15, 20 years. So they're going to be around. There's endless amount of ground to build on too.
Well,
it's not like
no ground in Mount Lebanon, no ground in Upper St. Clair. So we're knocking houses down. Peters is running out. You probably got 4 farms left. Trax Farm just sold.
Oh, did it?
So like they just got purchased by the family, I think, like a lower part of the family, but that was 60 acres. You got Simmons Farm, which is about half sold. But again, it's price point entry. Like, it's not for everybody. Like, it's getting close to the point where it's $1 million plus. Like,
we all grew up in Oakmont and Verona, and like I always thought it was funny. There was I don't know how familiar you are, but towards the Oakmont Country Club, they built homes up at the old St. Anthony School, and their biggest selling point was like the last buildable dirt in Oakmont. And then 10 years later, they leveled Edgewater, and they're building all these new homes. And people up there are probably like,
fucking liars. But you're also paying $1.3 million in there. $1.4 million. Yeah, for sure.
And now they tore down the Macero mansion, and now they're building
7 new homes there.
Yeah, like I that's not my favorite market. I don't, I get the allure of it. Like, I get that, you can create a $100 million business that way, because just, Infinity builds about 100 houses a year, so that puts them at about 100 million. It's a big company.
So when you say back up, what don't
I don't like that clientele.
Okay.
Like, it's not like they're bad people. They just like, we have one now, and like
gingerbread homes in a plan.
It's just like they're very indecisive. They don't want to follow your process. Like, they're used to doing shit their way. Like, they're very demanding in regards to like how they want this to go.
The $1 million buyer?
Yeah, it's especially new money. Like, new money is a different thing, right? So it's like, most of them either inherited money or they just made their first like big check this year, and they got some fucking puffy chest, and they want to like degrade their wife and she doesn't get to talk and you know all the other shit. And
you watch YouTube and this is how you build a fucking house.
Take care of the fucking kids, you know. And I've seen it, man, like a lot. And then you get the older people that are just like, you know, used to having money. They come into our office in like a 2018 Honda Pilot and want to build like a $1.4 million house, and you would never know it. It's like a Chris. You never know what how he lives or what money he manages.
Yeah, I think that's funny too, because like in your field of work, you're gonna deal with this is gonna be their one time. Like
no, so our objective is to build your second and third house. Yeah, that's mostly our objective.
Statistically, though, in life, how many times do people build a new home?
Twice.
Yeah.
Especially if you've done it, because the way I always say it is it's like a heated seat and a heated steering wheel. Once you have it, you can't get away from it.
Yep. Right, and if you did it right the first
time.
You
couldn't imagine moving into a fucking house that's like you didn't build.
Right.
And you just built one?
And if
you're not going to buy a used house.
What do you mean?
If you do it right the first time.
Backwards in life.
It's like laying, or what do they say, like laying the hardwood floor. If you do it right the first time, when you can build a better house the second time.
Yeah, because even the people that... the people, I built for some people that built 4 or 5 times.
Good for them.
You know, and they are now at the point they know exactly what they want. You know, because I built for some of my friends, and everybody when they're done, they're like, fuck, man, I would have done this. I would have done this differently. Yeah. And it's all because of financials. So you'll get to the end, you're like, oh, dude, I don't want to spend, $30,000 on the upgraded siding. And then you get done, you're like, fuck. I wish I would have did it. I should have put the back porch on with the roof. Now it's double. Yeah. I got a remodeling guy coming out and quoting us double. Fuck. Money makes you react emotionally, not logically.
Right. And if it was up to me, I'd fucking probably live in a 1-bedroom shoebox. But
I get that question all the time. People are like, oh, man, you probably live in a giant house. I live in a fucking 1,800 square foot house on the Monongahela River.
Yeah.
No, I don't live in a big house. No. Nor see any allure to it. Not for me.
What's the end game, man? You're just gonna ride this out?
I love it. Like
a beach
for me,
in Costa Rica.
No,
You're a worker bee.
Yeah, for sure. Like my dad's the same way. He just retired. He's 62, so I already hired him. I'm like, come on, you're gonna be our permanent manager. Come on. Yeah. This is our Christmas party. He was like, told my mom, he was like, got my first job offer already. But again, I was like, yeah, you can't even negotiate it because Social Security, you're only allowed to make $1,900 a month. And you're like, let's fucking go. That's what you're being cheapest goddamn. I was like, remember when I worked for you? It's gonna work for me now. No, but that's gonna be a cool experience. Like I'm really looking forward to that.
And that permitting's a shit show sometimes, but it's still fun.
It's a weakness for us because our sales guys don't have the time to run around all these municipalities. Like I deal with every municipality is different.
Your dad can take them donuts.
Yeah, for sure.
And hang out.
He don't care. We're 20 hours a week for sure. He gets in a company truck. Tells me to go fuck off when he wants to. I'm clocking out and going home.
I can see it now. I can see it now.
But the end game is honestly, man. I want to put it on to I'm already trying to replace people to replace me eventually. I still want to play for a long time. Yeah. But I want to give everyone in our company the opportunity to sit into that high level role.
Right.
Same thing, like Good to Great book, like leaders that have tried to bring outside leaders have 9 out of 10 times failed. Like you want to hire from within. Like the statistics are showing that that's a much better probability of long-term success. So if you look at our business, is it sellable? Sure, because as processes, systems, as a bunch of shit in place, you could step in and put a CEO in place and run it from day one. But I don't have a land position, so I don't really have an attainable item to sell. Like D.R. Horton bought Dan Ryan. Why? Because they wanted their land. D.R. Horton bought Brennan Homes. Why? Because they wanted their land. It's not because they want your business, they want your fucking land. And that's how they do mass takeover here, is you take this money, you go away, we now own your shit.
Right.
S&A did it. They sold to NVR when NVR came and wanted to do brand expansion. That's how they do it. They expand by buying you.
Yeah. So these other large companies are sitting on large plots of land.
But it's wild, dude. So like, you got a battle of behemoths going on right now. And like, we were going to move into production and do communities. And then D.R. Horton came and I'm like, fuck no. So D.R. Horton is valued at about $85 billion. And they're the #1 builder size-wise in the country. And they're in about 39 states, I believe. They build about 65,000 homes a year. NVR is the 4th biggest builder. in the country, and they're valued at, I think, 30 billion or somewhere around those numbers. And they're now battling for land position. They're stealing the subs, they're stealing their employees, they're stealing this, they're doing this, they're buying every piece of land possible. So the way development works is like they typically do a deposit based upon the gross revenue of the community, and that goes to the developer. And then you have to do a land takedown of where, like, no matter what happens this month, you have to buy 15 lots. No matter what. If you only sell 2, you're buying the other 15. So that stretches the developer's money out across a year or whatever, maybe a couple years. D.R. Horton's coming in and saying, hey, we'll just give you all the money now. Here you go. Are you going to sell to them or are you going to sell to us? What are you going to do here? Because we don't want you to sell to them. And they're committed to being here for 3 years at a net loss just for market share.
Yeah.
I can't play in that game.
Your buddy Chris can't give you that kind of money.
No, I got to go to I got to go to like Trump Rock. You know? So, it's a game that I don't want to play.
Will you get the kids involved or what's
I have 2 girls, and my oldest one wants to be a farmer, and the other one, they're on dancer.
They'll do what they'll do.
Yeah, but like I already, like they've been walking real estate with me since like they've been born.
Yeah.
Whether fix and flip or this or that. Like
how old are they?
9 and 7. So like we play Monopoly. I teach them game on like this is the sections of rentals. This is how we're gonna play this. This is how we move the dice. It's more about just financial like.
Yeah.
People in America are fucking financially retarded.
Right.
Like it's just crazy.
Right.
Like and I just listen. My kids are gonna know how to balance a checkbook. They're gonna know how to do this. They're gonna know how to read a P&L. Like. They're gonna know how to do these things.
Yeah.
Like they're gonna know how to manage cash flow. They're gonna understand how to like,
Yeah, I just read something the other day where they said, everybody wants their kid to go to college.
No.
But they're like, well, what if you just got your kid interested in a business they like?
Yeah, I make more money than any of my friends that went to college.
Yeah, if they wanted to be like your daughter wanted to be a baker at 18, you're like, fuck it, let's open a bakery. Mm-hmm. And you took that $250,000 and put it into that bakery. Mm-hmm. By the time she was 40 or 50, she'd be fucking killing it. Mm-hmm. Even if she failed 5 times, she'd fail forward.
Yep.
Be ahead of the game. So
yeah, I mean, for me, it's like I don't, I'm diversified in the sense of like, how do we play the game, right? Stocks, yada yada, whatever. A little bit of crypto, play this, whatever. But like, real estate's what I understand. It's what I stay in. I will certainly put some time in and learn some crypto and just understand. Because again, I'm not going to say it's not the future. Like, I definitely think Bitcoin is the future currency of America at some point. Probably not predominantly in my life, but like, who knows? Maybe when I'm 60.
Yeah.
Like, I don't fucking know. Yeah. But like,
can you buy a Hemlock home with Bitcoin?
Yeah, so it was wild, man. We were trying to do wild shit back in the day, like with the NFTs even, of like, hey, like you could own the digital asset to the copy of your blueprints that could be then sold in the metaverse. Like there was all kinds of wild shit before it went to zero, right?
Yeah.
Because you're like, I don't know, how's this gonna go? Maybe this, because like if you think, right, it's like a ticket comes over on your email. That's an NFT.
Yeah.
It's a digital currency inside of your email. Like get you into a place that you own the rights to. If you have ticket number 1 for Leonard Skinner's final show, that's worth some fucking money, right?
Right.
So like, it's just crazy.
I saw a thing about it.
But yeah, I will say, I would imagine someday we'll sell a house for Bitcoin.
There's like
you go back to $1 million listings whenever Ryan Serhant was offered, I think it was
3.5 Bitcoin.
Yeah, some wild, that were more billions or something, some wild number now.
Yeah, it was like 3,500 or something Bitcoin. It was like this famous. Yeah, and I'm like, crazy. Fuck. I use that as my benchmark. I bought my business 8 years ago, and I think about like, if I'd have just taken all that money right then and there and like ate edibles and chilled on my couch and just bought Bitcoin then and just chilled, I'd be worth a couple mil.
Problem is I can't chill.
No, that's why I can't chill.
Yeah, he's the same way.
Like I like true operations. Like I like being in the day-to-day. I like, not still working on the business. I'm not necessarily in the business as much, but like, I love being a part of the business. I love being with the team, like I love the growth. I love, the next problem. Like I ultimately love to sit in every department and just play with the Rubik's Cube and see if I can get this thing to just not be all fucked up.
Well, how old are you now?
37.
You're getting there. It's like that 35 to 40 mark where you just like start understanding things a lot better and more clear,
Yeah, I mean, for me, it was just getting clear on like, what do you want? And again, it's like, I came from a place where like I've had money at a very young age. Like I came from the streets. Like I already knew how to play the game, like in a major way before that. So like that's I think what a lot of people in business get nervous about is the numbers. So like millions of dollars does not scare me. I will throw it around. Like it ain't, you know, like I came from the streets playing millions of dollars. Like I say this all the time. Like I used to run drugs across the country in mass quantities. New construction is the hardest thing I've ever done in my life.
Well, the bank's not allowed to kill you if you default.
Sure.
But if you default,
like, you know, even still that, I'm like, just the logistics behind even all the shit doing this from this. Okay. This is a wild game on scale.
Yeah.
You know, so like if for us, it's like, you know, we're trying to shrink down, condense the build times by a month, and that'll allow us one more sales cycle. So one more sales cycle, we can fit in another 7 or 8 homes. So when you're building 10, 11, 13, 14 houses at a time and they're all an hour and 15 minutes apart, fuck yeah, it's real hard. Yeah. And you're trying to get them all done in 5.5 months. Yeah, real hard.
So what's the biggest difference between drug smuggling and building custom homes?
Dude, I mean, here's the thing, like so I went to prison when I was 21. I did 15, I had sentenced to 15 to 30 months for selling drugs. I then did that, came home, and then went back to it again because it was what I understood, right? But I went to jail the first time for coke, and then it was like blow, but reverse. I had the wrong dreams. Then this was like when weed became really cool, and like, this is the wildest shit. I probably never even shared this, but like 2014, in that era, I got arrested again for RICO, for running drugs, for like, we were bringing back thousands and thousands of pounds from California, and, you know, whether it was in horse buggies, whatever, like just wild shit. We had transporters, we were doing all kinds of like, and we were sending out $3-4 million at a time in cash out to Cali and bringing it back. So like I already understood moving money. I already understood logistics of how to get things to certain places and how to get them back. So if you look at every business and break it down, it's all the same to drug dealing. Like it's all import, it's all export, it's all logistics, it's all cash flow, it's all risk mitigation, it's all the same shit, right? I was just doing it in my 20s. So I correlate everything to our business to the shit that I learned in the streets. It's just now, that's why I'm in real estate, in construction, because it's the same game. High risk, high reward, same adrenaline, same shit, same pace. Closest thing to drug dealing, because that's what I love the most. I swear to you.
It's the action.
Do we have to like black your face out on the podcast?
No, I didn't care. No. So like wilder shit too.
Like, I did my time. Fuck you.
Wilder shit too. So I got sentenced for that case. I forfeited $1.2 million. They put me on house arrest. I interviewed for Urban Capital. Got the job. I wore pants for 13 months straight because I had an ankle bracelet on, no driver's license. And I was driving around doing acquisitions for them and fucking on parole.
That's awesome.
They don't know the quality of a background check.
That's awesome.
I think we were running up dough. But again, it gave me the confidence to be able to, like, I'm a hustler anyway you look at it. Like, I'm just trying to figure out a way in here.
Yeah, no.
So it was, but yeah, it's all the same principles. Like,
were you in Vegas at all in 2013 or 2014?
No.
So I was. We probably.
Yeah, no.
That's a different podcast. We'll talk about that.
Yeah, no, man. It was fun though.
It's a similar story.
Yeah, but again, like I always reference it back because like I get a lot of my friends down. They're like, "You can't relate to me." I'm like, "It's the same fucking problem."
Yeah.
I'm like, "What? You got efficiency problems? You got communication problems? So do fucking we." Our initiative #1 this year: internal team differential department communication. We all can talk shit to each other, but for some reason we can't tell each other when something changes.
Right.
The fuck we got going on here?
Yep.
You know, so they're all the same problems. They're just how much do the problems cost now? Your problem might be a $15,000 problem now. It used to be a $500 problem.
You said earlier you make more money than your friends went to college.
Yeah.
I guarantee you that not one of your friends paid $1.4 million to go to college. You did though. So but
I also can probably retire at this point if I wanted.
Yeah, it's a culture. It's a culture thing. Like some people might look at it like don't talk to him. But fuck that. I want to meet everybody that does everything.
Yeah, but I own it, right? So I've had customers that looked us up that were like, I worked we've done full remodels for cops, and they're like, yeah, we
dug in.
We read about you, brother. You had a good run. I was like, yeah, but I'm not that person. You know what I mean? You can tell, it's...
Fuck that. I want somebody that's been through the shit to build my house. Because, proof and concept.
Dude, my best guys have a past.
Yeah. I mean, it's the same thing. So like when we started this, I tapped into every relationship I ever made in real estate. That was the first thing I ever did. I tapped into everybody. Hey, this is what we're doing. 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 Oh, we're open and remodeling too. This is what we're doing. This is what we're doing. This is what we're doing. And people have all done business with me, whether it was through Urban or through my flips or through some other stuff. Like they knew I did good business. They know I'm a man of what I say I'm going to do. And so, yeah, people were cool with bringing their clients over early on. Like, I didn't have a fucking idea what we were doing. Just knew we were going to do it. So, but they knew, like, based upon me saying we were going to do it, that it would get done no matter how poorly it may go. It will get done, and it will get done to where they're happy. Like, I always do the right thing in the sense of the client. Like, if you give us a 5-star review, and you've been cool with us and it was early on, I will come back and fix things for free forever. For life. Yeah. Especially early on. The early on people, if you call me and you have a fucking piece of grout missing this big, I'm sending my best guy over there.
Yeah.
To fix that.
Yeah.
Because I owe you.
Yeah.
You know, like you took the chance on me.
Especially
and there's a lot of people that made a lot of money off our houses too.
Especially the lady that wrote you that $200,000
for sure.
check.
I tell her all the time because she looks at me. Because we had an incident with a guy on the Pittsburgh real estate page, which was all bullshit, and said his roof was leaking and all this nonsense. It was all fucking bullshit. Bullshit. I didn't touch the fucking roof. You did the fucking roof. But you want to air me out all drunk on social media and shit, talking all this fucking bullshit. But there's power to that, right? So like she sent me a message because one of her hockey people, her son's a professional hockey player. So one of her hockey people sent it to her and said, isn't this the company that you love so much, da-da-da-da? She was like, listen, this is all nonsense. This fucking shit, you know? But like, again, like that's how far it spreads and how fast it can spread.
Awesome. Social media is a fucking great tool, but it's also a great equalizer.
Yeah, it's for fucking bullshit. People that don't know shit to go talk shit.
Yeah, even when I'm angry about something and like I'll like want to interject myself, I have to like peel back and be like, fuck. Like I just can't bring myself to do that. People don't know what the fuck. We talked about on our last episode about restaurant owners. Like people bitch about a cold bowl of soup. And it's like, you don't know what the fuck they were dealing with that day.
You have no idea how hard it is to be a fucking operator of a service business. Yeah, if you own a service business, you are the fucking ultimate operator.
And what they'll say to you in my business a lot is like, well, I own a business. And it's like, all right, well, awesome. Then you should know better. Yeah. They're like, well, I sell Mary Kay. Yeah. I'm like, fuck.
Oh, your sales was fucking $7,000.
Yeah. And your husband makes fucking $190 a year, so you don't have to worry about it.
Yeah.
I'll put the button back on.
You know, I give anybody credit that is willing to give any of this a shot. You know, I don't pay attention to shit. I don't pay attention to any of the comments. I don't pay attention.
You can't.
No, so like for me, it was, again, like I understand that people want to do business with who they know, like, and trust. So like I became a part of a business group a couple years ago, and like I became super consistent on social media. Like I posted every day consistently for the last 3.5 years. I've not missed one fucking day. And again, you could probably go back and look at the journey of the last 3.5 years and read every single thing in the game that I give for free, and you could start a business and fucking do it immediately.
Yeah, but...
And I paid fucking $250,000 for all that information.
Yeah.
You know?
But that's I'm sure you've read all the Gary Vee stuff.
Well, it's the same thing. You get 4 likes, and then you put a fucking picture of your house up, you get 400 likes.
Yeah.
Some bullshit.
But it's the Gary Vee thing, the jab, 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 right hook. You just got to put out content and, you know, just eventually. And that's like, honestly, I got a lot of my business out of that real estate group and never intentional. I mean, I've posted on there because people always post shit non-Friday. You know, it's self-promo Friday. Every fucking day people post shit. And then people get all wound up. And I don't know that, I think I could probably count on one hand how many times I've posted something on a promo Friday. And I've gotten so much business out of that group. But it's just because when people post a question, I fucking answer it.
Yeah. With real intention.
Yeah. Like just, hey, I'm
not looking to be spammy and weird and get a job.
Like I'm thinking about buying a truck because it's the end of the year, and I think, but like, should I depreciate it or should I do it? And I'll just like put a question, and then I'll put something like, I'm an accountant, so that like, you know,
here's my credibilities.
Yeah.
You don't hang gutters for a living and are giving advice.
Yeah. And
I didn't just look this up on YouTube.
Yeah. This is how it works. And I'll put like a long, detailed explanation that most accountants would charge you for. And I just put it up. And that has snowballed into those people fucking call.
The way it goes.
Just provide.
Yeah, because a lot of times too, man, you get a lot of lurkers. Like lurkers are the buyers. Like, that's the game, right? The people that don't interact, the people that don't like your shit, the people that don't fucking, comment or do whatever, like, that's your real clients. We call them lurkers. Like, the people in the background that 100%. Are watching their friends share your shit or yada, yada, yada. 100%. Like,
the people that post every day, they're not the people that are calling. But it's the people
that are doing fucking nothing.
Yeah, because they have time to post every day.
Sure.
And they're the people that are working for the government that are glad to get their 401k.
Well, there's just a lot of talkers in the game.
Out.
There are a lot of talkers.
You know what I mean? Like, and again, like, if that is your game, that's cool. Like, we can have a great conversation, but like, yeah, man, like, you can read all the books you fucking want. You can do all this shit. Like, you're really gonna learn when you start losing real money. Yep. Like, that's the only real way you're gonna learn business.
There's so many talkers in real estate. in business is huge.
Right. I'm just gonna say it, man. It's weird, and like, what's so crazy is now that I'm not really involved in real estate, I don't deal with the drama as much. But like, construction's weird too, man. Like, it's an ego-driven business based upon dudes that want to puff their chest and shout your shit out. I've never looked at anybody as like a direct. Like, I've never compared ourselves to anybody. I never was like, yo, I'm chasing this. Like, I looked at companies that have been around way longer than me, and I looked at why you've been there. Like, that's some sexy shit. Like, instead of talking about your revenues and all the other shit, like, let's talk about how much you're giving bonuses. Like, how much you giving back? Like, how much you really helping the people that really fucking helped you?
What have you lost?
Yeah. Or your real losses.
Yeah.
Because, like, I'm open about them all. I mean, I've made every mistake, and I own every one of them. Like,
that's what I try to look for in, like, the failures. Like, what did they try to do?
Even the tough clients. Like, we have a couple tough clients in design right now, and I told my sales guys, I'm like, this is the real education, because this dude's poking holes in our process.
Yeah.
This dude's showing us where we're weak.
Yeah. You posted that, and that's actually the post that you posted it, and I thought, I'm going to message Brian because he needs to be on the podcast.
Yeah, appreciate it. Yeah, man, like, I just, because I get a lot of people that'll reach out and be like, hey, man, I want to do coffee. I'm like, I can't do coffee, man. Like, I'm sorry. Like, I don't mean to be a dick. Like, if you invite me to one of these, we'll do these for sure. Yeah. I like this. Long form podcast, man, let's talk. Let's do it. You ask whatever, and I'll answer every way I can.
Yeah, we haven't had too many interviews where I felt like we're leaving shit on the table, but I feel like there's a lot that, like, I'm going to drive home from this one and be like, fuck.
You should have asked back whenever you're ready.
I'm like, how do I fucking...
Or you can come on mine.
Yeah.
Run it back.
Yeah, I think we should.
Yeah,
I think we should.
But
trying to figure out how to smuggle drugs in an Amish buggy.
We have horse trailers and shit, dude. Fold down campers and all kinds of shit. Yeah,
my buddies got nipped in an RV.
Yeah, dude.
They were just stupid.
That'll be part 2.
They were like, we were skiing. They were like, the police were like, where are your skis? They had 0 skis in an RV. They were like, we're going to call it a dog.
Yeah, I mean, but it's all like, I tell everyone, like, it's why would you want to deny your story? It is what it is. If you're still that person, you got a problem. But hey, man, it is what it is. Like, we all went through some shit. Like,
you owe it to yourself to be honest to yourself. If you're not honest to yourself, then what the fuck?
Yeah, like, I'm not out here to portray some sort of lie, man. Like, I don't get bogged down by much. I fall back. I live in a fucking small town of 413 people. Like, I care about my wife. I tell people this. I make decisions off of two groups. How does it affect the 3 women that live inside of my house, and how does it affect the people inside our office? That's it. Other than that, I don't give a fuck, period. Right. I don't give a fuck. It's not a concern to me, because that's not my responsibility. My responsibility is to raise the 2 girls that I have, give a good life to my wife, and then give the opportunity. Like, that's what I always say. Like, our mission statement at our company is, like, we are here to give you the opportunity to do this. And whatever you do with that opportunity is what you do with it. I can only open that door. If you don't want to capitalize on it, then that's cool, man. That's your journey.
Yeah, that's sound advice. I mean, to any age of a person is like, people will think like, well, how do you do it? Well, this is what I do. Yeah. And even if you wrote it down on a napkin and said, this is how you can do it, fucking 95, 96%.
That's why coaching works, right? Because 95 ain't going to do the work.
Right.
You know,
just not gonna do it.
I just switched to a construction-based consulting group called Win Rate out of South Carolina, and like the reason why I knew the dude for a while, and like the reason why I joined there is because he's so fucking disciplined.
Dude, it's in the algorithm that you said that, because I just saw a promo on Facebook for Win Rate today.
Yeah, Claudio's my guy.
Yeah,
I love it.
They knew you were coming.
Like, he's crazy fucking disciplined, dude, on a level that I'm super disciplined, and he blows me the fuck away. So there's 2 characteristics to this, right? So like, we all have a lot of friends inside all this construction, real estate, whatever. We've all gone our different paths, but we all kind of do the same shit.
Yep.
I have blown the doors off of most of them. because, and I'm not even the smartest one. Like, I'm probably middle of the pack, maybe even low end of like how smart I am, like intelligent wise of business. But my discipline is fucking unheard of because I don't fuck around with money. I don't waste money. I'm super careful. I'm methodical. I play chess on every single thing that I do. I calculate my lefts, my rights. Like, I'm just very disciplined in the way I play business. I analyze, I think, I don't react emotionally. And that took a lot of like, again, that took a lot of like getting to that point. But it shows me that my discipline will outdo your smart. Like that's what it's gonna do. Because I can learn, but I know that I'm extremely disciplined and I'll do the right thing whenever rubber hits the road and you're like out trying to run from some shit, doing a vacation, even though your business is burning down, you want to run away from it. I ain't running. I'm staying in that fucking fire.
Yeah.
I'm gonna put the house out. I'm gonna use my money to get water and I'm gonna fucking put out the house. You know what I mean? Right. So that's like, we talk about that all the time. We all probably get together once a quarter and they're like, hey man, what happened? What happened this quarter? What are you struggling with? Cash flow, this, that. What if we do this? What if we do that?
You got to have good people when you're inside your sector too. Because
and you should always give game.
Yeah. But it's always nice, like if you're struggling and you get together with those guys and they're also struggling, then you feel like, all right, I can breathe.
Like, even with the win rate stuff, like we take our team. Like it costs me a lot.
Yeah.
It costs me $60,000 a year. Then it costs me, more with our team to take our team. I got to pay for, we fly everybody. We put them in hotels. We do this, we do that. Because here's the thing. I look at it like this. I love these events. And they're like, I love the energy of it. I love coming up with new ideas. Like there's no groundbreaking thing anymore you're going to teach me that's like going to move the needle to my business like massively. It's just little shit now. It's refining what I got going on. But instead of me going on these, once a quarter places or I go on a call every 2 weeks, like I don't want to just puke this on you. Like I want you to experience this the way I'm experiencing this. So you have clarity to where this business is going. Like we're going to break out SWOT together. We're going to put out our calendar together. What's our financial goals? What's our production goals? What's this goal? We're going to do this together. Because then it's not like you have your input, you have this. Like it's not just the me show. Like, again, I don't want to build a business that fails whenever my partners leave. Like, I don't want that at all.
Yeah.
That would, I almost took over my dad's business and I didn't, but there's a pressure to that, right? Like, what if I fucking bury it? And he built this for 44 years. He should beat my ass. Yeah. And I folded it. So, again, right? So, like, I want to put everybody in the right position to know what they're doing whenever, the day comes that I want to go do something else or whatever. I want to get into large multis. That's what I want to get into.
Nice.
300-400 unit multis.
It's funny, Jerry said about like when you're having problems in your business, tell your wife because like she could be poking holes in the boat while you're trying to, and like with your team, like if they're all involved in the fucking process, they all get it.
Yeah.
So everybody's plugging holes at the same time.
Well, and it's tough too because like you come back from these things and you want to change everything. Yeah. And you just got to sit back and like collectively listen to everybody's thing of like, no, maybe that's not the right idea. It might be in your head, but like you don't sit in that department. So like there's cause and effect to every decision that gets made in business. So like, yeah, you made that decision, but it might impact that department negatively.
Yeah.
So why don't we ask them? Why don't we bring them? It's worth the $7,000, I assure you. I think, there's a lot of people that just look at this thing and it's like, well, it's about me and nothing is about me. I would never be here with myself.
And we're only here for a finite amount of time, so what the fuck?
Yeah, man, and like, that's what makes it so hard, like with our culture, because like, it's so good that like, it makes hiring so hard.
You don't want to fuck it up.
Oh, fuck.
One asshole ruin it all.
Yeah. I'll fire the fuck out of you. I had to do it to an old dude. Severed his fucking head off. I was like, listen, man, you gotta go. Just shit, get the fuck out. Because you're talking shit and you're pissing off all the other people. Like, I can't have it, man. Yeah. Like, you're a great dude. You were probably our best carpenter. Get the fuck out of here.
Get the fuck out.
Yeah, I had a friend that had
Because when you do that shit and you set the tone to the whole company, like, you're willing to get rid of the best guys. I fired our entire remodeling team twice before. All of them.
I have a friend that has a pretty sizable landscape construction company, and his like key guy was the asshole. And he was like, but how does it work without him? And then one day
It worked great.
And he fired him. And he was like, everybody in the company, from the secretary to the foreman, picked up all the slack. Like everything worked better, like slept better. And it's like, dude, bad
Morale's
employees.
better.
Yeah,
morale gets more done, I assure you.
Your good employees don't appreciate when you tolerate your bad employees.
Right.
Well, so I look at it as the same way as having a bad customer. A bad customer is going to suck all the time and attention away from the good ones.
Right.
The fuck do you want to spend time on this dickhead for?
That's right.
Goodbye.
Then he's not going to be happy at the end. You're going to devote all this extra energy.
Never.
Yeah.
You can give him all the money in the world. He's still a douche.
Yeah.
Like, it is what it is.
Character flaw.
Yeah, fuck it. You suck. You're an ignorant person. Sorry.
That's sound advice, too. You got a lot of sound advice.
Yeah, we could be here.
Man, this
That
is going to
60
be a
grand
lot of
goes a
reels.
long way
We're
here.
gonna cut this one up.
Nate's starting to squirm over there. So
Yeah, I know. I think our batteries
advice
are
for people starting out, or
I mean, for me, it's just, you got to go for it. Like, at the end of the day, like, I tell everyone, if you really want to build this into something real, invest in people as soon as you can. Like, I didn't pay myself for a year going through COVID. I didn't pay myself a fucking dollar. Dude, I was at the point with COVID that I was trying to get a part-time job at Walmart to clean their fucking floors at night. I swear to God. We had a $9 million business. I was calling Walmart in the middle and to try and apply for a part-time job to clean their floors in the evening just so I can get some sort of money. I drained every fucking thing that I had, every fucking thing. And people don't know they're going to go through that. Like, you better be ready to go through that. Wildest shit is they denied me because of my felonies. But I'm like, you know what? You're fucking right. Yeah. Fuck this fucking $13 an hour job, dog. I'm fucking running a $9 million business applying for this shit. And I wasn't going to tell nobody. I was going to go there from fucking 11 to 3 a.m. or from 7 p.m. to 3 a.m. Yeah, and then go back to work still. Yeah. Like, that's the game. Like, if you really want to build a true, real successful business, like, you better be willing to put yourself very last.
Yep.
And invest in people.
100%.
So how do they get a hold of you if they decide they want to build a Hemlock home?
Listen, man, Hemlock Homes on all social media platforms. We go heavy on all of them. Brian Bercik, I'm mostly on Facebook. That's where our client avatar is. I'm like too old for Instagram and TikTok and all that shit, so I'm out of that world.
Brian, it's awesome to meet you, man.
Thank you, guys.
You put some energy back into me. I'm going to kill it tomorrow at work. I hope anybody listens to this does the same.
Yeah. Thanks for having me, guys.
Thanks, guys.
Thank you.
Thank you for listening to Between Two Bridges, a business-to-business podcast. Find and follow us on your preferred podcast streaming platform. Like and subscribe, and leave us a rating and review. You can join us socially on Facebook, Instagram, TikTok, and Twitter. Yes, we still call it Twitter. You can email the show at info@betweentwobridgespodcast.com. Until next time, make it till you rake it.